Howdy folks, Chuck here, Wynot Wander. Working on the RV again today. Ever since we got it, we've had, seems like, battery problems. Now, this coach has 3 big batteries. They're inside this compartment right here. Anyway, what I was working on today, the chassis battery, which is the one on the far left here, used for starting the engine and a few 12-volt systems on the coach. The other 2 are the house batteries, which what we'd had a week ago on that solenoid failure. The relay or solenoid that feeds those batteries had failed. It did come in, I got it replaced, everything's working fine, but lately, chassis battery keeps going dead. There's been a couple times as I'm checking things out, I wanted to start it. Pressure for the leveling, voltage for the slide outs, whatever, as I'm working on stuff, but it has been failing to start because of a rundown chassis battery. Now, extended research on this. Apparently some coaches have the ability to charge the chassis battery when we're plugged in to electric power. We are plugged in on this, trying to research. Now it's a 2004 coach, 2004 vintage. Some coaches charge the battery, the chassis battery, when you're plugged in, some just when you're running. But the more I researched, the more I checked, it seemed to me I was supposed to have what they call an echo charger on this. Now, armed with some information and knowledge from an electrical problem a couple weeks ago, I got to looking further. Most references I could find to an echo charger said it was supposed to be on the bulkhead at the front side of the battery compartment on coaches similar to this. I never did find anything this coach particularly, but even as I was checking wiring diagrams, tracking down my other electrical problem, it mentioned an echo charger on here. So when I got a little bit more caught up, of course it hasn't been the most critical problem I've had, so I was kind of putting it off while I was taking care of other things. But yesterday I came out, I started looking around, and I found inside our inverter compartment up here. Okay, here's the inverter. Back here is the solenoid that I replaced. As I got to looking and reading descriptions of chassis batteries, I looked, and I believe this is my echo charger here. Right here. I probably won't know how this turns out until I get to editing it, and I don't know if I'll have time for that today or not. But there it is, green status light is on. Got a reset button on there. There's a couple other lights. 3 wires, 1 to the chassis battery, 1 to the house battery, 1 to ground. What it does when you're plugged in, it charges the chassis batteries through the inverter charger right here. I believe this is a Xantrex 2000 amp inverter charger. Now my wiring diagram, my owner's manual did say fuse lines, but that fuse should really never need to be replaced. But I got to looking yesterday, and one of those two yellow things right there are 12-volt fuse holders. They're both marked 20 amp. One of those was burnt out. The other one, you could see where it had been hot. Looked like it had almost burned out. Now, I kind of suspect, I don't recall having problems with this last year, but it was last November, about 7 months ago. We were in Wyoming. My 2 house batteries had a dead cell on each of them. We were boondocking, and these things wouldn't last 1 night. They'd be discharged the next day, and there wasn't enough voltage to start the generator. But there's a jumper button up front on the inverter panel. You press that and it will jump from the chassis battery to the house battery to start the generator. Inversely, If the chassis battery goes dead, there's a button over by the driver's seat that lets you push it to jump the chassis battery from the house batteries. So as long as you have one system active, you can get the other system to work. Turned out I had one dead cell in each of those house batteries at the time. Enough light. Didn't bring my flashlight in with me, but I was just going to show you. On the inverter panel, 2004 Country Coach. Move a couple things and open the curtain so we can see better. But right down here is my battery boost button. If the chassis battery is too weak to start the engine, and I can jump from my house batteries. Up here on the inverter panel, here's my generator start switch, but right here is a battery boost button. If my house batteries are too weak to start the generator, such as run down from boondocking, which those should last more than one night. We've been asked to do a video on battery capacities and how long we can boondock for. I haven't actually learned that yet, but I hope to get that information together. I'm still chasing gremlins right now. But anyway, the way it is right now, of course, we are plugged in. It's a diesel generator, fuel prime, glow plug, starts right up, okay? Now, the problem I'd been having for the last week or so, I could not start my engine by turning the key, because you see my idiot lights down there, they would always dim. Oops, honking the horn by accident. Now that thing just cranks right up, turns right over. Just having that fixed since yesterday, my chassis battery is now charging. So, one more job with a little bit of success. Completion. Okay, just going to add a quick note here. I do have a heavy-duty fender cover here I place over the batteries when I'm crawling in there, kind of protect myself from the batteries and the batteries from anything else I might do. So I will wash that off before I put it away, so I don't have battery acid on it next time I want to use it for something else. So.